Niigaanwewidam Sinclair, who is one of the movers and shakers in this town, and if you haven't encountered him, you will not forget. He was one of the forces behind the new anthology that came out last year called Manitowapau, a collection of Aboriginal writings from the land of water, which is where we live. Please welcome Niigaanwewidam Sinclair, moving and shaking.
Bonjour, Dinwe Maganadok, Niigaanwewidam Nijnakaski Gododem, Niigaanwewidam Omayayan. It's an absolute pleasure to be here this evening in this place, my home, where I come from, where my ancestors have been for thousands of years. They've been in this place trading stories and ideas and time and laughter and pain for long before any of us can even remember. So it's an honor to be able to join in that history and come into this place. And I want to talk a little bit about, I'm kind of in this dual role this evening. So as part of the Writers' Festival, I'm here both as a writer and then also as an editor. And so as an editor, I'm often asked to speak about a text that involves the voices of many. And I really do believe that this book that I've recently finished with my partner, my friend, Warren Carrew, my writing partner, we compiled this book with just the basic premise of an idea, a seed of an idea of what would it look like if we looked at Manitoba through Indigenous eyes, through the voices of Indigenous peoples for the thousands of years that I know about. And what we discovered, of course, that there were tens of thousands of years and hundreds upon hundreds and upon hundreds of published writers and many more writers whose names have fallen away and now exist in the whispers of the landscape and in the sound of the water. And we discovered that within the very name of Manitoba, it comes from a word, a Cree word that means Manitowapo. And Manitowapo is a rich and powerful word that describes a place in the Narrows. Have anyone been to the Narrows? Who's been to the Narrows? Okay, so as you drive to the Narrows, you know that thin little bridge? Stop around that neighborhood. Don't stop on the bridge because you know how thin it is, right? But stop just before you get onto that bridge and put your window down. And what you're going to hear is you're going to hear crashing waves on the limestone shores. And those powerful sounds sound something like heartbeats. When settlers arrived in this place, they believed it sounded like church bells. But local Cree in the area said, no, that's the sounds of Manitowapo. Manitowapo comes from two words. The first word is Manito, which means spirit, but the more accurate word to describe Manitou would be mystery. Wabo is what we describe as water, but it's not any kind of water, because I'm going to talk about what water is described as in a different way. But Wabo is water that's spoken for. It's water that has life. It's water that is inherently connected to the creation of things. And so that word means mystery life water, Manitowapo, which is a pretty powerful name that describes the power of this place. And they say that those sounds that crash off the limestone shores and the Narrows create everything that you see around you. All of the color, all of the landscape, all of the relationships, and all of the laughter, and all of the pain that has ever existed in this place is created from Manitowapo. So I encourage you to go take a look at that beautiful place. And not only has it created everything that you see around you, all of the colors and all of the stories, but all of the history in this place. Manitoba was once covered by the Great Lake Agassiz, any historian will tell you. And that great, huge flood of water that covered this place was a glacier that melted 30,000 years ago, created everything that you see around you, all of the rivers and all of the lakes, and that created what we now know as Winnipeg. We stand in a powerful place right now. We stand in a place called Oodena. Oodena is a Cree and Anishinaabe word, often translated to mean center of the city. In fact, you'll see it on a few of them, but the more accurate word that it describes, it's an Anishinaabe term, stem that means Ode. Ode stands for heart. This is no small name of this place that we're standing in right now, because it means that this place carries the responsibilities of life. It's the place which pumps the blood, the words and the rhythms and everything that lives in and around this place. If Winnipeg is a body, we are standing in its heart. The muscle that creates beats that emanate through and around us and in us. And what do we send out from this place? I'm privileged enough to have a 6-year-old who asks a lot of questions. And this 6-year-old asks me constantly, "Daddy, what is Winnipeg? What is Manitoba?" And I'm forced to describe these things to her. And so what I describe to her is that this is a place of stories, it's a place of laughter, and it's a place of sharing that always has been here. And most importantly, it's a place created from water. We stand at the forks right now, if you look just over there, where the Assiniboine and Red Rivers meet and begin their journey to the north of Lake Winnipeg, the home of our name. This is the place where water multiplies. We are standing in it now, where rivers become dirty, where water flows into the veins of our expansive home. So water is the lifeblood of our home. Winnipeg is a Cree and Anishinaabe word derived from Winnat, which means dirty or muddy, and Nibik, which means waters, plural, waters. The original pronunciation is likely Winnipeg. It's used to describe the Great Lake Winnipeg, an over 24,000 square kilometer shallow water body in the center of what we all know as our home. Of course, Cree and Anishinaabe peoples had used this word for years, but it was first recorded by Laverende. Winnipeg is named, of course, this way due to the algae in the water. Algae, for any of you that don't know, is an autotrophic plant-like organism produced by nutrients found in the water. They provide air, food, and shelter for insects and zooplankton who are consumed by amphibians, animals, birds, and eventually humans. In other words, algae are the oldest living beings in Manitowoc. They are the living beings who assist others to live. They give water life. At the same time, algae responds to delicate changes in the environment. Right now, many of us don't really know it, but due to nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen being added to the earth via our farms and household soaps, this results in entry into groundwater and rivers that meet and culminate just over there. They eventually flow northward into Lake Winnipeg, create dirty waters. Sometimes these are very dirty waters. Due to hydro dams and the northern Nelson River, most of these nutrients can't escape that place, and they result in the increase in algaeic production that quickly encompasses the water, saturates it, and produces toxins that suffocate aquatic life. In other words, we are pumping out water that is killing our home. Water is made up of the good and the bad parts of us, and everything in between. Water is complexity. It's also what we have inside of us. It is all the good and bad parts of us. I stand in a place right now created by water, carved literally out of water into the landscape. And it speaks about a flood that happened thousands and thousands of years ago when our long cousin Nanaboju sat on a log with all of his relatives, and he asked them to travel forth into the water and pull up that piece of earth. Pull up that piece of earth from the very deepest part, at the very bottom, and pull up that mud, that sand, and come forth so that land can be created. All of the animals tried in which to do that. Finally, Muskrat succeeded, and he traveled all the way to the very bottom and sacrificed his life at the very bottom of that Great Lake, the Great Lake Agassiz. And where did he come? Here, right here, this place. Water is priceless. Water has created our life, and water right now is being created in Winnipeg. Winnipeg is a place that my daughter asks me about all the time. As a 6-year-old, she's very interested in many things, and she has a traditional name. Her name is Niigaanwewidam, little flowing dancing water. The elder who gave her that name said that the first time he understood the story of it, the dream that he received, he knew that she would be defined by the beauty, the complexity, and the truth of water, the good and the bad parts of us, the good and the bad parts of Manitowoc, the truth of Winnipeg, and the heart of this place. And this is where I bring her. Her name perfectly describes her fearlessness, her determination, and her fluidity. Her favorite activity? Swimming and playing, always playing. Water, Winnipeg, is movement. The dirty waters are us. The dirty waters are life. Miigwech.